Okay. Um, I'm sorry I'm being interrupted again. This is like ridiculous. I can't even talk without Jean interrupting me in mental telepathy, wanting to like point my eyes and shove my eyes to where she's at because she just wants everybody to know that she's the one that's guilty. Anyway, as I was saying to you guys, anyway, it's Jean, and then it's a dude, and it's a female. And then they've got their other top leader, female blood Satanist occultist, Charles Manson is, that are giving those threats and all that stuff, okay? And I know the male and female's occupation, and I can tell you all kinds of stuff about what's going on between all of them, okay? Now, she has illegal cameras in this house, and she pretends that she's a cop, and she's in charge. She also pretends, she's also said that she owns this house, and she doesn't. And she also says that she's in the Oxford leadership, and she's not. Okay, she's not any of that. She's talking the motherfuck, which tells me she is trafficking probably all of Oxford houses. It probably is that big. And I mean, Oxford is worldwide. So, I mean, it could be that big, not just this house, but this house definitely. And I also want to point out something, this house too. I've been decoding since my childhood. Not since my childhood, going back to my childhood. There's a whole bunch of decode. I mean, it's everywhere. It's all based on part of my childhood. She bases on Little House on the Prairie. Inside like initials, L-Hop, every time I decode it. So, and it goes out and spells out into all kinds of terrorism and trafficking and all kinds of stuff, okay? All the characters in the show, I mean, it's all she's used every bit of it. And she depends on where she pulls from is from my childhood memories of me when I lived in Globe, and it was when we lived in the first house, not the second one on Easton Cotton, when we lived in the first house, and I used to watch it. Okay, I used to watch that and Mutual of Omaha, Wild Kingdom, and Hee Haw, and those were like my 3 shows that I watch all the time. So she's got it permanently planted in my brain. So all of those shows all decode out to stuff throughout my life, and she used them as themes throughout my life to commit all kinds of terrorism trafficking with. Okay, so that would have been 1976. Okay, so here we are. Now I am at Oxford House, Green Country, and this has become basically like AIW, Little House on the Prairie again, because you notice prairie green. Still cute little Oxford house. So it's like she's trying to parallel that. So I just got that too. So anyway, so she's got cams in here and she's trafficking people and she's trying to blame it on the cartel. It is not the cartel. What she did is she went to hooked herself up a little side job. And I know leaders of the cartel said, you do not want to be doing that. You do not want to be doing that, but you can't tell people to fucking quit. You can't fucking tell them to fucking quit. People are going to do what they fucking do. So she went and hooked up a little side job and said, I really need you to help me tell lies about Christina. I really need to make this war happen. And I need to be able to tell lies about Christina. And I need people to believe my lies because I really need to push it through. Meanwhile, every Latin person in the world who knows all about Jean's lies and knows it also exactly what Jean is guilty for in plethora when it regarding anyone or anything Latin, have like, no, Jean, you're lying. And by the way, you were turned in what you're guilty for. And it's just a never ending. But she's like, I just need to push this. I just need people to just lie for me. Okay. So if you bring in some girls, okay, and she was doing this while I was at work at Research too. They would be hired and they would be on camera, paid to monitor. Okay. And they really, actually, the girls were, because I can hear in my brain, the girls are actually good girls. They would just sit and be quiet unless she like sent orders for him to tell them to go do something, then they would have to go do something or whatever. But they were just, I mean, they're like, what can they freaking do? So anyway, she's like, and then they came on and told me, look, we passed information up here. I'm pointing to the right here at Liberty, but we passed information up here. So they showed me like 2 cars passing by. So don't feel like you're all alone and people don't know what's going on. She thinks she's getting away with running her con. She's not. So Jean thinks she's like the Madam of Tulsa now, you know. So anyway, that's basically what she's like doing with the house. And she wants to make it look like it's the cartel doing it. It's not the cartel doing it. It's her cameras. She's wanting to push and dump there and then set them up. Okay, so anyway, I was told that the police got access to cameras in the living room. They're well aware this is terror threats. They know about it. They know that Jean is trafficking people in this house. She also is likely trafficking people in multiple Oxford houses. She's likely trafficking people in every house in Tulsa. Okay, the Tulsa is her oyster. Okay, I mean, she is a primo trafficker. Okay, so anyway, as I wanted to add to this is that she lies to people. I hear her in my brain lying to people underground or in locations where they're solely dependent on the camera access that she feeds them, which could be blurred out, fizzed out content. It could be picture, no sound. It could be a bunch of cropped crap that she likes to do a lot of clip and stitch. I mean, I don't know what she's doing. And she uses CGI to flip who's who. She does that all the time. You'll think it's one person and it's another person. And she claims often that she's my roommate. She claims she's all of my roommates. And she claims that my roommates are all communicating with her, and then I could see that they're severely ice raped. Like she's using artificial intelligence on them, but at times I'm like, is she like approaching them in public? But then I'm like, no, because I could really tell that they're being strongly ice raped. Because they'd really be like freaking out, but they're not freaking out. So I'm like, are they hearing a wad of crap from her mush mouth? Oh, everything's okay. Feeding a line of fucking crap and she's got it handled. She's Mother Tulsa and she'll handle everything and it's filtering down that way. Or have they talked to legitimate sources, have said, Christina really is being stalked. You guys really are being stalked, but people are under threat. It's non-emergent. It's emergent, but it's non-emergent. Don't worry about it. Like, I don't know what the conversation is going on there. But anyway, so she lies to people, and she's got people that live underground, okay, that have access to these systems. So I've caught her a couple of times saying I can hear them underground and they're freaking out about the environment in the house. And I can't even remember exactly what they're saying. But it's been like a couple of, like, they think that it's just Spanish people in the house. Some people only think it's Spanish people in the house. Because my roommate brought in maybe her son, I don't know, her son the other day. And they started freaking out. There's a white kid in there. Why is there a white kid in there? Okay, so anyway, as I was just saying, they were like, why? They were like truly puzzled. They were like, why is there a white kid in there? There's nothing I can do, okay? So she's ice raping everyone in the house and like using artificial intelligence to robotically control people and doing these skits and stuff. And there's literally nothing I can do. Now, whenever that happens, she's putting on a live show, okay? And she's broadcasting it somewhere. And she's pandering to people who have either got to be tired of it. Who knows if they're required to sit in on her shows. I call them Haribo meetings. England would know that. I call it Jean Roberts Haribo. If they're required to sit in on her little damn dolly stunt shows, or if they're sick in the head like she is. I don't know who the audience is. But anyway, so then it was another time I heard people talking in the background, And they were under the assumption that this house is underground, like physically located under the ground. Not in it, not as in her slang of underground and all her fucking Lycon shit, but like it's literally physically an underground home, which could lead to believe they again would not even know where the home is, that they would not even know that this is an above ground home, much less be in Tulsa. So that could be anywhere. And she tried to do that to the Middle East when I lived in Oklahoma City. She tried to pull a hell of a number on them and claimed to be the military, and there was a terrorist on the loose, and went and garnered their assistance and gave all the AI hookups or whatever, and they gave my son's apartment, okay, and they gave my room, and she was pretending that I was located in the Middle East and that I was a terrorist, and was telling them to attack me. And so they literally were thinking that my location was in the Middle East and not in America. So, I mean, it's what a con she's pulling. I've even heard her say, when I lived in Oklahoma City, I heard her telling people underground that everybody on the block has to die. And she's very abusive to people underground. I mean, she's psychotically abusive to them. And it's like what I said, they have to do what she says or else. And there's no telling what she asked them to do, which is beside the point. It doesn't even matter. Okay, it's what she does, okay? So, and I know that she's running this trafficking ring again. I mean, I've more than proven it, but here's some other instances. When I lived in Slidell, she said one of the most horrible things in the world that made me sick in my brain. First, she shoved in my brain something completely disgusting, and I couldn't get it out of my brain. Like, I wasn't like, like, you keep like mowing something over and over, not like that, okay? I mean, she kept literally physically injecting it in my brain. I kept trying to physically push it out, okay? She was just having a field day, just kept injecting it over and over again. It was so gross. Then she told me that she slept with O.J. Simpson, which you know what that means. She did not sleep with O.J. Simpson. She put on a little AI suit and had herself some, abusing him and his significant other. And she was bragging about that. And then she said the same thing about another couple. And she said that they swapped. She goes, I swapped with so-and-so. And I'm about to I'm sitting here, I'm about to puke. And she's doing it to antagonize the fuck out of me because she knows I love these people. Okay. And they came on, they got wind, they came on, they're like, that's not true. And I mean, obviously, fucking hell, that ain't fucking true. I mean, if any of that was going to freaking happen, do you think fucking that? Hell the fuck no. So, then there's been times she's put celebrities in my head in Hollywood that are in the middle of whatever. And then she comes on and it freaks me out. Like, I'm like, why are you doing this to me? I mean, she's just using me as her personal little projector. Okay. And then I'm getting angry on behalf of the celebrities. And then she comes on and she tells me, she goes, Hollywood agreed to this. They all said it's okay. They all do it. It's okay. Nobody cares. And then a bunch of celebrities came on and said, bullshit, that is not true. She did not have permission to do any of that. So I'm trying to think of what else there I wanted to add. Oh, okay. And so then the camera is in the living room. They are also, the police also, I guess they routed, or she routed, and then the police got control. I don't know. But I know that Hollywood has access to the living room, and I know Hollywood has access to the kitchen. I do know that much. And I know Hollywood has access to the back porch and front porch, because I see them making commercials on TV showing different things and illustrating different things. And it's just like, well, we're all biding time while Gene's got everybody under threat. We might as well make Green Country famous, And the girls here are good girls. They're all very good girls, and they don't realize that this is happening to them. But I did let them know I turned Gene in. So, but that's all there is for that.